Welcome back, everyone, to another market recap. Now, before we actually get into any trades today, I want to talk real with you guys and talk about something that happened that was honestly really disappointing for me to see yesterday. It honestly makes me really sad because I have a lot of respect for Dodgy, and I think he is one of the best mentors and educators. But yesterday, he kind of made fun of me in his Discord server, and I will show you what I mean. It's kind of disappointing because I actually respect him a lot and look up to him a lot. And I wasn't trying to act unprofessional. Now, it ended up coming off very, very unprofessional. But I was just trying to show him something that I thought was cool that could help his trading. If you don't know, yesterday in the Discord, I was really excited. I was talking a lot about new day opening gaps. Now, essentially, these are the gaps that form in the market between the open and the closing price of a new day. So I'm going to show you them real quick. You can actually see they are very, very powerful when used as a confluence for your trades. They basically are invisible barriers within the market. The market will run from one to the other and then use it as support, resistance, support, support. You can see how the market bounces off of these levels. So imagine you can imagine how powerful it can be to get an inverse for value gap setup coming off of one of these, right? So I was very, very excited. I thought this is really, really cool. Like, you could really use this as a nice confluence to your trades. Now, obviously, I wouldn't keep these on my chart. I'd probably have them on a different screen because they're a little overwhelming to have on your chart. But I was like, these are a really, really nice confluence to have for your trades. So I was really excited, and I was talking to Dodgy, but I was being a little unprofessional. I was just kind of acting excited. And so I'm going to show you this from Dodgy, and it honestly kind of broke my heart a little bit. It made me really sad to hear him basically make fun of me and say, don't be like this guy. So we're just going to listen to it real quick. Hopefully it's not too long, but
All right, so I'm sharing this because I just think it's funny, and I know you guys have all been through this before. So there's this guy named Jake. He's in my Discord, right? And he DMs me the other day at 10:25, and he says, "Bro, you gotta start using New Day Opening Gap and the 8:30, 9:30, whatever time. It's actually insane." And I know you guys have been through this before where you've seen something like, oh my god, I'm switching off IG. Like, this is so good. This is so good. And then you like tell people about.
first of all, I'm not switching off IFGs. I'm basically saying that he should use it as a confluence. Also, this is kind of sad. He's literally not even accepted that friend request, so I don't even know. Just a little disappointing because I'm probably one of his biggest supporters and fans. So it's crazy that like he's talking like this about me. But let's continue.
About it, and you think it's like an awesome strategy all of a sudden, and like you're like, oh my god, this is what's gonna truly make me profitable. And he says all this stuff. I like half read it, but I'm like, okay, I know there's gonna be a day where he's like gonna. I,
It looks really bad. It looks unprofessional, but all this stuff is really, really fascinating. Like, we were perfectly reacting off the new day opening gap, and I got this amazing 3-to-1 trade off of it. And you can see it would have been an 8-to-1 trade as well. So it was really cool stuff. And then basically Dodgy's kind of like saying like I was acting like really like he basically was like I didn't need to get into all this nonsense. But the thing is, this stuff is actually really, really cool. So let's continue with this video, and I might skip ahead to the part where he talks about me a little bit more.
I know this is gonna fail, and then he's gonna be like, I just knew this wouldn't work.
And okay, so that's a little bit of what bothers me as well. Is he says I know this is gonna fail. Like, I know he studied this stuff. I know he studied new week opening gaps and new day opening gaps, but I don't think he realizes just how powerful they are. Like, if I go out to the weekly chart, I just want to show you how crazy this is, right? You see these new week opening gap. Look how many times we react off of it, right? One, two, three, four, five, six. Before continuing to where? The opposing new week opening gap. So to say that this stuff couldn't be a valid confluence is insane. It's obviously very, very powerful. You just have to know how to use it. So that was really, really bothering me. But you can see how powerful this can be. Anyway, let's really review the rest of this real quick and see what else he has to say.
Work out every day because again, you don't overcomplicate it. And he sends all these messages, like just overcomplicating stuff, and he's like, "Bro, look in the EHPDA midpoint between new day opening gaps. It's insane. AKA Event Horizons. Ding you later."
Anyway, you get the idea. So let's skip ahead a little bit, and basically he just says,
Funny, like you can see how short my response was because I knew he was gonna send like a message being like, "Oh, never mind, it's not as good as I thought." Whatever, but yeah. So don't be like this guy, or yeah, be like this guy, but you know it's gonna happen to you. And
literally just says, "Don't be like this guy." But like he didn't need to make this conversation public. He didn't need to talk about this in front of everyone. I get it. It looks very unprofessional, but this stuff is legit. The new day opening gaps are very, very powerful. And if you can use this as a confluence for your trades, you can see how powerful it can become. So anyway, very, very frustrating that he'd make that video about me. I honestly can't even believe that he did that, but you know what? It's whatever. Kind of losing actually a lot of respect for Dodgy, especially because, like, why is he not even accepted that friend request? I feel like I'm, like, one of his biggest supporters and fans. I make, like, literally videos about him covering his trades every single day. And I send all of my people that follow me to go watch his videos. So this is kind of ridiculous. Anyway, just wanted to go on that rant a little bit because that was very, very frustrating. But let's talk about today. Let's talk about trades you could have taken, and let's get into it. So going on to the, going on to the lower time frame chart. So I'm going to first show how basically today was a choppy day to trade. It's not the best trading conditions. You can see that we have highs and lows in the market that really have not been ran. You can see how Dodgy says, "Imagine trading when not a single liquidity pool is even being ran." And this is exactly what I was getting at as well. I want to emphasize as well, if you're not seeing liquidity getting swept, it's just not high probability trading conditions. So very, very frustrating. Yeah, it's just hard to trade when we're not getting that. Anyway, the first trade of the day is from FA, and you can see how, let me pull it up from FA. He noted this out in the morning. Now, unfortunately, like I was saying, I've been having an off day these past couple days, but I will be getting back into it in the next little bit or so. I'm going to really, really work hard December through February to make the best videos for you guys and just keep making better and better content. But you can see how this, we had this, I think this was a 3-minute for value gap, delivering from another for value gap. So if I go down to that 3-minute, you can see we had this for value gap. We get a push down, or no, it was on the 1-minute, sorry. So we have this for value gap. We get a push into it right here. We get an inverse for value gap off of this for value gap. Once we close above, you can see this was a nice 1-to-1 trade, maybe 1.5-to-1 trade right to Asia's highs. Decently high probability, but also not necessarily like the best trade because we are in premium pretty far. So, but it was decent. It was a nice 1-to-1, and yeah, as well we're delivering from. You can see we swept liquidity here, and we were delivering from this breaker here. So it was just a high confluence trade to Asia's highs, a short 1-to-1. You can see how everything lined up pretty well here. So good job, FA. Unfortunately, after Asia's highs, you would not have been able to leave runners towards PM's highs and previous day's highs. So you would have really just got a 1-to-1 trade there. Now, going into the trade that I took, what I was looking at is I did want to see PM's highs get swept, but we weren't able to get up there. And so I actually think I did try and take this inversion on demo, but this isn't really a great trade because you have low resistance liquidity below, and I knew that. That's why I took it on demo. But here you can see Dodgy talking about that. Not sure where he talks about that, but he does talk about it somewhere at some point that this inversion, while you could have taken it, might have been on the 2-minute or whatever, to PM's highs. It's in reality, I think it was a 3-minute. Yeah, you had a 3-minute inversion to the upside, but with low resistance liquidity below, it's not really something you should be taking, especially in premium here and with equal lows and London's lows. So what I was looking for was mainly a reversal back to the downside to maybe get some kind of trade where I could have targeted these equal lows here and then also London's lows. Now, we did not come down all the way to London's lows, but we almost got to these equal lows. But this trade ended up being a break-even trade for me, and I'll show you what I mean. So we swept London's highs. We swept Asia's highs. We got a reversal back to the downside. So I marked out that we had this. I marked out that we essentially had. Let's see where it is here. Let me pull up the trade in the Discord server so you guys can see it. I think it was on the 2-minute. Let's see. Okay, yeah, here it was, 2-minute. So we had, or no, it was the 3-minute? Maybe it was 5-minute. Okay, here it is, the 5-minute. Here you can see we have a really obvious breaker block here. A high, a low, a higher high, which sweeps London and Asia's highs. And we get a close below that. So that is a valid entry, but I wanted to get a better, I didn't want to take that because we closed a little too low. I wanted to see a better entry. And so anyway, we had the 9:30 open right here. I entered basically on the retest of that 9:30 open, and I tried to target those equal lows, and they did not get hit. So I think I'm going to call it here because, yeah, I just want to keep this one short today. But, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.